Hi, welcome to a new episode of Philo. Let me turn down the music because I'm running the booth here as I do this as well. And yes, today we have Daniel Scott Gabriel Murray as our guest artist from the world of comics and cards. We have Robin Fisher as our guest or our co-host. Hi, Robin.
Look at my jellyfish. Look at my jellyfish.
Yeah, she has a little jellyfish that she lit up today. Did you get that off the internet? Is it like plastic?
Yeah, it's all like shiny cellophane and light.
That's cool.
I like it. I like it a lot.
That's cool. Let us get Daniel Scott Gabriel Murray on our screen, who's our guest today. And let me take our music and we'll kind of leave the theme on for a minute while we talk. And welcome to the show. Welcome to Philo.
I'm glad I'm here.
Yes, we are going to review what we did last week. And so let me put that up in the big window so it's not just me. And so we started a new story last week. Boys Gone Wild!
New story.
Yay! Boys Gone Wild! So they're on vacation on a yacht in space! And then pirates attack. Pirates come aboard. They crash the party. They steal the buffet. They filch the buffet. And then Philo says, not on my watch. And that's where we left off in the story. And so I'm going to close that down. This is the ad that I just put out literally just a few minutes ago, which was previously on Philo. And so let me save that one.
Ships in space.
Yes. And then this is 02, 04. Let's see, I believe this is 05, and then Daniel Scott Gabriel Murray. Okay, excellent.
I would like to take a moment to say hi to Kay and hi to Magic Marmot and hello to Ignite the Reaper, the Red Reaper.
Oh yes, hello. We were told that Ignite the Red Reaper would join us tonight. Oh, we also have Tian Perkins, who was our artist a couple weeks ago, and so that's very cool. So let me get to a new panel, and do you want to start us off, or do you want me to start us off, Daniel?
Go ahead and take it away, and I'll just follow along like I know what I'm doing.
Okay, yeah, no worries. Let me get us all set up here in some kind of semblance of a format. Tim Perkins says, Keen, Space Pirates! And Kay says, hiya, Robin, hiya, Daniel Scott. And so we have space pirates that are stealing the buffet. What happens after they steal the buffet?
For some reason, I have a strong desire to put Phoebe Buffet in there from Friends.
That was her character's name, right?
Yeah. I think it was Buffet, but I love the play on words.
The actress never knew how to play the guitar prior to that character. She learned how to play guitar for the show.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's Lisa Kudrow as the actress.
Yeah, and what is it? High School Reunion. Something in Roma's High School Reunion she was in.
Oh, Rami and Michelle's High School Reunion. Yeah.
Yes, and oh my gosh, like that movie really proved what comedy chops she has. Mm-hmm. So K-Bird says they got stuck. The pirates get food poisoning because it was a trap and too portly to get through the doors. If it's
do they float away into space then if they can't get into their pirate ship?
did they know the pirates were coming? Like, how is it a trap? It's a buffet. Were they planning on poisoning the people? I mean, all the pirates are lovely, but they put on some.
Maybe the food had like special lead in it to make them weighty.
Weighty. Where they create their own gravity in space.
I don't know. Magic Marmot says it wasn't a trap for the pirates.
It was
and
all
Tim Perkins says it was all a ruse.
It was all a ruse. Okay.
For what? But what were they trying to accomplish if it was a ruse?
Pasta would do it. Okay, so we seem to be leaning in the direction that the pirates gain weight from the buffet. And so and an unknown food allergy, says T.N. Perkins. So
Okay.
I'm thinking like they have the buffet. Philo says not on my watch, and like the buffet like empties into like one pirate's gullet or something. Oh no, we lost Robin. Robin, come back to us.
It's a tariff problem.
It's a tariff problem. No, Canada's been cut off from us. Let's see, unknown food allergy. Yeah, there it is. There you are.
Sorry,
Yeah.
my display was timing out, so I had to change the setting.
Okay. Yeah, we were afraid that Canada was cut off from us.
We're building a wall!
Let's see. It sinks their ship gluten, stealing an entire table full of food. They do this for a living. The ship lists to the left. Oh, see, we're starting to head into panel 2 territory with the ship listing to the left. We still got to figure out panel 1 territory. So
All right.
panel 1, I'm thinking like all of it has to go into like one pirate or something.
Okay. You want me to take a point on that?
What if-
Do you want to take panel 1?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, then I'll take panel 2.
Okay.
Okay.
What if they're like back at their ship and you see like all their plans for them that they always do this? They go around stealing tons of buffets.
Okay, we can do that. And then yeah, we can say the buffet pirates plans, the buffet pirates booty, and it's just like tons of tables in their ship.
And tablecloths.
Yeah, tablecloths and like dinnerware.
Yeah, silverware, stacks and stacks of silverware.
Yes. So
And coffee cups. Like a mug. I think a fun reveal would be who's in charge. I don't know who that is yet, but I think that would be a fun reveal.
yeah, we could do that. Let's see. They still have to be space pirates, though. I realize they still have to be space pirates. Like, you cannot give up the identity of them being in space as part of their piracy deal. Like,
So, what if it was like that the first monkey they sent into space, the Russian monkey?
let's see. They were actually buffet repo men, says T.N. Perkins. And then kind of like the Goblin King, except sized like meatloaf, stealing an entire table full of food for a living. The ship lists to the left, Pirate King. Let's see. Okay, so if we're going to show their hold, and actually, let me put Daniel's a little further than I am, so I'm going to put him in the main window. Yeah, maybe they are actually
a little further
repo
is a
men.
stretch.
Maybe they actually are buffet repo men. Kay likes that idea.
But who should be their leader then? Who's orchestrating all the repos?
For some reason, I have Danny DeVito's character from Taxi in my mind, like in his little cage.
Yeah, that's a good idea. He would make a very funny pirate.
You know, he went to Juilliard.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, very, very talented actor.
I think he's impressive because I read a story about how he gets his son into music and his son gets him into music, and they've got photos of him at a Mike Patton concert.
Hmm.
I think it was like a Mr. Bungle show.
Well,
That's pretty open-minded in my book.
he and Rhea Perlman had a long marriage, but they got divorced because of his womanizing after years and years and years of him.
Well, they're back together now.
Are they? Did they?
Yeah, they did. They got back together. You can look it up.
Wow. They
Yeah,
did
I know. It's surprising.
They
It's
did
very
what my
surprising.
grandparents did. That's cool. Okay. So I think what we're gonna have is like dishware. Let's see. Are they repo inhaler the food after it's been eaten? Let's see.
That's kind of gross.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think they would do that. I think that it's like, well, once it's been eaten, it's like it's gone. Let's see. Then let's do pots and pans. Let's see. The ship's owner had to pay for the food. Robo stomachs.
Maybe there's like little creatures inside the robot pirates that need the food. You know what I mean? They're like manipulating the robot pirates.
Well, not all the pirates are robots, just some of them.
Oh. Well, do they all have robot stomachs?
No, I would imagine the robot stomachs would be kind of like a Matrix thing where there would be like a line of robo stomachs like hooked up to like a giant vat where like you would put the food in like teeth, and then the teeth would like go, and then the stomach would digest it, and then that would go into the vat.
That sounds disgusting. Are they birds? That's how birds eat. Regurgitate it all up after mushing it up and then eat it. Ugh.
No. It would go through, not out.
These pirates are weird.
Well, we don't know if that's what would happen. We're discussing it with our writers, with chat, who comes up with such ideas, possibly. Thank you.
Kay agrees. Ew.
Yes. Tangent says hi. Hi, Tangent.
Hi, Tangent. Look, Tangent, I got a jellyfish. Pirate centipede, says Magic Marmot. Gross.
Oh, no, pirate centipede. No.
Ignite the Red Reaper says that a non-government issued car-sized drone should be in the sky. And Kay says, I'm still pissed off that DeVito is married again. You had a chance, Kay. A brief window of time. You had a chance.
You know, he played, going back to Danny DeVito's career, he was the villain in Space Jam, right? Remember, he played the evil alien.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, and so what was interesting is for Space Jam, none of the voice actors got to walk the red carpet except for Danny DeVito. Yeah.
Did they think he looked like a character enough? The rest, everybody was too normal?
No, he had a big enough name. Everybody else was like Billy West and, you know, Rob Paulson and Trace McNeil. You know, you had people like Jim Cummings doing voices. And, you know, they weren't considered big enough stars like Bill Murray. And even Wayne Knight was allowed to walk the red carpet. But Billy West, who did like half the dialogue in the movie, wasn't allowed to walk the red carpet.
Billy West does the voice of Pinky or the Brain. No, he does the Brain, I think. He does the voice of the Brain.
No, Billy West does Fry in Futurama. And
No, but doesn't he do? Then he does Pinky. He does the voice of Pinky.
That's
no,
Rob
no.
Paulson.
Yeah.
That's Rob Paulson.
So then he does the voice of the Brain. Billy West does the voice of the Brain.
No, that is Maurice LaMarche.
Oh. I thought Billy West did one of the Animaniacs voices then. I thought he was on Animaniacs.
He did a lot of Animaniac stuff, but he was not one
Great show, wrong character.
Yeah. He did the voice of Bugs Bunny in Space Jam.
Oh, you know what? He did the voice of Ren, didn't he? In Ren and Stimpy?
Yes.
That's why I'm mixing up my buddies. You know, Pinky and the Brain, Ren and Stimpy. They're not similar, but yeah, no, there we go. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, but yeah, he does like a zillion voices. Obviously he's a voice actor. And thank you. Yeah. So we'll do this. So how are you doing over there, Dane?
I am trying to figure out what I'm doing in life.
Drawing pirate booty. Oh yeah, I'll be right back. My drinks are here.
Okay.
My caffeine.
Do you need help?
Getting caffeine?
No, I meant with Philo. Like, are you?
I'm just drawing this fat pirate who's overeaten.
Excellent. Yeah, I just kind of threw on some chill music. Let's see. I'm still pissed off that DeVito is married again. I'm not that fast. Hello there, says Algrata. Hi, Algrata. Algrata. And then they're not red carpet people. And then voice character actor. Yeah, he really is. Yeah, it's when Futurama was made and Phil Hartman was supposed to do the voice of Zap Brannigan for obvious reasons that we've talked about on previous shows. Phil Hartman was not able to do that voice. And so Billy West did his performance of Zap Brannigan like he was doing a impression of Phil Hartman. And so he did it the way that he thought that Phil Hartman would have done that character.
Is this before or after Phil Hartman went to the big pie in the sky?
Well, that's just it. Is Futurama was a show that was in the works when Phil Hartman was still alive, and Zap Brannigan was supposed to be his character. But when his wife shot him in the head and he died,
that puts a crimp on your career.
Well, yeah. So they just basically said, "Hey, Billy, can you do the voice of Zap?" And so Billy West then did an impression of his friend Phil Hartman for Zap Brannigan. And so that's why, Zap is always like, tell the myth, right? Because that's how he thinks that Phil Hartman would have delivered that line.
Got ya.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's heartfelt in its humor. Yeah, but we talked about like the whole Andy Dick thing on the show, and yeah, on account of his being dead, says Kay. Yeah, I was trying to be more, like I don't know, tactful. Yeah, I think they call that bite in voiceover biz.
Bite.
Yeah.
Computer, turn TV volume to 0.
Okay.
Computer, launch all the missiles.
If you tell her to do that, she'll say that her torpedo bays are malfunctioning or something. Like they programmed stuff in that. Yeah, like Star Trek stuff. Like if you say, fire phasers at your neighbor's house or something, it'll be like, oh, I'm sorry, phasers are offline.
That's actually quite funny.
Yeah. Yeah, and so let's do this. I'm just kind of drawing a galley up here a little bit. And then Alexa isn't fun like that. Yeah. Someday she might be.
Was that Siri or is that?
Oh no, I have an Alexa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let's see. And then what did we say that there was like stacks of tablecloths? Yeah, because they would have like stacks of tablecloths.
And cutlery.
Oh, I didn't even think about the cutlery. Oh, you're so smart.
And like mugs. Lots and lots of mugs.
Yes, I didn't even think about mugs. See, I'll just do forks for now.
Before all that craziness happened, which was actually just last week.
Yeah.
I got this American comic. It's called Pee Pee Poo Poo.
A Frank Miller production.
No, it's actually done by this lesbian cartoonist. What's her name? Carolyn Cash. And the covers are really cool because she's doing tributes to alternative comics. So this one is based on Pudge the Girl Blimp by Lee Mars. And then she's done like a Charles Burns one, and her biggest one to date so far is her 8-ball one. But I quite enjoyed it, actually.
Nice.
I'm looking forward to getting the others. Art style is very clean, very indie. If you want to throw me in the big panel for a second.
Yeah, I can do that. I can throw up some good art over my bad art.
Oh no, she's great. It's really clean though. It's kind of reminds me of a bit of Simon Gaines. He's a British cartoonist.
Right.
It because of how clean it is. It almost reminds me of Chris Ware's stuff.
Oh God, no. This Chris Ware is really tight and intricate. Like his stuff is like he'll spend hours on like an ad to make it look old timey. He's kind of insane about this. I felt that when I was looking at her work, I felt it was more akin to Julie Doucette. Here, I'll show you what I mean. This panel is a pretty good example here. Like that. She's more like Julie Doucette to me.
Right.
But yeah, I look forward to getting more. Like she's definitely talented. I love what her stories are about. Just day in the life kind of stuff. Adventures. But yeah. She's I don't know. Chris Ware has a new book out. It's his third sketchbook diary. And I look forward to seeing it. You've got the first one. But I honestly think that he might have peaked with Building Stories, because that's, I think, one of the most genius comic book things to ever come out.
Yeah, I have that one.
Really need to get out more.
I have that one because my brother bought it for me for presents. I would not have purchased it for myself. Chris Ware is not one of my favorite artists, but I'm glad that I have Chris Ware in my collection because I feel like, once in a while it's good to pick up and go like, wow, that's really well put together. And it's just like there's comics on like the cover that folds around the like the paper cover, the outer cover that folds around like the actual cover of the book, right? There's comics on that folded part.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's
Right.
not Building Stories.
Which one's
You
that
probably
one?
got one of his other books. Building Stories is actually a box full of various comics and graphic novels, all revolving around the story of a building. So there's like a little golden book, there's like a little tap book, there's like a accordion book. And the thing that's genius about it is you can read it in any order and you're not lost because it is about every person in the building. At one point, it's even about the ants that live outside the building. At another point, it's about the building itself. And I just think it's a really genius piece of work. I've never seen anything like it, and I love it. I love it dearly. It's probably one of my favorite comics in my collection.
I've seen parts of that book that you're describing, but I haven't seen that one. No, the one that I have is like it must be one of his sketchbook collections then. But
yeah,
but it
his third one just came out, so I've got the first one, but I haven't got the other two yet.
Yeah. It like I said, he's not like my go-to artist for things, but I'll pick up his book and look through it and then like get inspired, you know. But the book itself would have cost me over $100, and it you know, I don't got Chris Ware book money, you know.
Who does?
Yeah. I don't got Chris Ware book money. You know, to me that's like the other books that I have purchased that have been in that price range have been like my Dali book, that's, you know, the comprehensive collection of all of his works throughout of his entire life.
Right.
Literally none of Chris Ware's books are $100.
This one was because of the asshole that was selling it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, I've never paid $100 for a Chris Ware comic. But of course I was collecting it when it was coming out. I'm sure if I tried to go and buy them all now, it would cost $100.
And that's just it. Is this was years after it came out. My brother decided I wanted this book, but I didn't want this book. And my brother put it in his mind that I did. And then he bought this book for me and then gave it to me as a present and was like, see, I got this Chris Ware book for you and it cost me this amount. And, you know, aren't you glad I got it? And I'm like, Chris Ware's not one of my favorites. You know, it's like, he's really talented. He's good at what he does and everything. But it's like, I just haven't, I like stories that move me. And Chris Ware is very, he's very,
it depends what you read. He can be quite cold, but he does have some stories that are very moving that feel like a punch in the gut.
well, what I was
And honestly, in my life, my parents and my brothers don't really give a shit about comics at all. So if one of them buy me anything comic related, I'm like grateful.
Yeah,
but that's just me.
He's very calculated in the lines that he puts down, you know, and I feel like it loses some of its heart with that calculation.
It could be, yeah.
His work is very depressing, but I still think it's genius. Like, he's got a page on the back of one of his issues that's like different seasons, and it's an image of a backyard, but it's going through time through like 3-panel increments, but the 3-panel increments create one giant scene as well. Like, I'm not denying he's calculated, not denying it at all, but he's brilliant. He's brilliant, and I think he's worth having in a collection.
Daniel, you forgot to write in your caption.
Oh, it's sorry.
Oh, thank you. That is not the right caption.
No, it's not. But that was the layer that it was on.
Yes.
I'm sorry. What was the caption again?
The caption was the pirates overstuffed themselves, I want to say.
That's a pretty accurate description of what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
An overstuffed pirate. It reminds me of, I don't know if you guys ever saw the cartoon because it was Canadian, but there was a Rocket Robin Hood cartoon back in the late 70s, late 70s. It was with Hercules. I think we called it Herc though. Does those cartoons sound familiar? Because I think they were Canadian, so you might not have seen them. But there was a character in Rocket Robin Hood called Friar Tuck, and in the opening sequence, he would just eat a chicken leg like that, and then he would toss it aside, and then he would eat another thing and toss it aside because he's like a glutton, right? That's what that pirate makes me think of. Which is perfect.
I got to work in the space portal window behind him here, but.
Oh, there we go. Kay's got it. 1960s Canadian cartoon. Yeah, so it was a little bit before my time.
Yeah, a little before my time. Okay, so you got some more time on your panel, right?
Just a bit.
Just a little bit, or
yeah.
Or okay.
I'm just making thick lines now. I'll clean it up, and we're good.
Okay, so you're still cleaning up. Okay, so I am going to take panel 3. Then I'm gonna take the next panel, and let me blah with that. And
blah.
So yes. So what is after their treasure? Treasure.
Do you think now we should see who the leader is?
A big reveal.
Is it the Swedish chef from the Muppets?
That's a great idea.
Now I have to look at
I like it. I like it a lot. I love the absurdity of it, and it's very apropos.
But we were also talking about Danny DeVito.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. What if it's Danny DeVito playing the Swedish chef?
We could do that too. We could have Danny DeVito. Well, see, okay, so Swedish Chef is interesting because He's got
the crazy eyebrows.
Well, Swedish Chef has human hands.
Mm-hmm. Specifically, Jim Henson human hand.
Yeah, and so Swedish Chef has human hands. So he is technically a 2-person puppet. So if it's Danny DeVito, do I have Rhea Perlman doing it with him?
He's the face, she's the hand. Yeah, why not? They're both the appropriate size.
Okay, so let's do this. We'll have
two kids in a trench coat, right?
Yeah,
Daniel Scott Gabriel Murray, what do we call you?
I'll pick a name. I answer to most anything.
Dan, Scott, Gabe, Rio, Murray.
I've been called most everything at this point in my life, so whatever you want to call me, I'm good with.
ESGM, Discum.
Yeah.
And not all of us can have a cool acronate name like what's his name? George R.R. Martin. I love calling him Germ.
Germ.
It's a great word, Germ.
My name spells out ARG.
That's cool. That's very cool.
Renee Greenlee. ARG.
ARG.
Yes.
My dad, when he retired, he was the commanding officer of the Royal Highland Fusiliers, and the only reason I remember that is because that's my initials, Robin Heather Fisher. And I also actually wanted to ask Daniel, what sort of artwork do you do? Because I saw that you do cards. Is that for Magic the Gathering or?
I used to do a DC Versus series way back
Okay, yeah, yeah.
in the early 2000s.
I know that.
I was doing that when I met Glitch, as a matter of fact.
Many
That,
moons
that
passed.
faithful Comic Con, which we will not talk about.
Well, okay. Are we gonna talk about what are we gonna call them? Bill and Mary?
Bill and Mary, that works.
Bill and Mary. Are we gonna talk about Bill and Mary and how fucking whack jobs they are?
If you're not worried about it biting you in the ass, then I guess you can.
They're a unique pair.
They're a unique pair. She has.
So
all
they were
the
at the
talent.
Comic-Con, or are they creators or fans or what?
They she has all the talent. He takes all the credit. I met Dan through Bill, not his real name, to protect the guilty. And Bill was at Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con 2003, I want to say. And
Yeah, great.
they had a booth, and Dan sold out of all of his books, but Bill didn't sell out of any of his. And Bill blamed Dan for like not selling any of his books because he's crazy. And like, you know, anyway, Bill is a very charismatic guy, you know, funny, full of stories of his time at one of the big Comic 3, not drawing comics, not even in the drawing department, in an outside department. And you know, but oh, he hung out with everybody, he knows all the stories. And so yeah, and so, you know, he'll regale you with stories and stuff. They have a fantastic library. I won't deny the fact that they have good taste in books.
Oh, they have an excellent library.
Yeah, excellent library. But yeah, they're crazy. And they work in children's books, and I was supposed to have an internship with them. And that internship turned into me fixing toilets instead of like working on art or writing, and like painting their deck and stuff instead of art or writing. And like they made like sexually explicit like advances towards both of us, I found out.
It's happened more than once.
Yeah, and they're just pieces of work that then revel in their negativity and blame others for their situation that they themselves caused.
That sums it up nicely.
Yeah, so we met through them, and I think some of our bonding was the fact that we kind of like looked at each other and went like, these people.
So what's up with this?
Yeah, so like, it's not just me, right? They're crazy, right? Yeah.
They're not. Well, I know a lot of people who aren't tethered to the planet really well, but I gotta speed up what I'm doing here.
Well, every scene has its weirdos. I got stories like that from my time in Vancouver too.
Yeah.
I have lots
But
of
2003 was the first San Diego you went to?
No. The first San Diego Comic-Con I went to, it was the first one that Dan went to. First one that I ever went to was, I want to say 1994. Yeah.
Because I went, the first and only time I went was 2000.
1994. You're a wee bab.
Yes, I was. Yeah, I want to say 90, 94, 95, 96, somewhere in there. I met Jack Kirby on the floor.
Nice.
It was cool. Yeah.
What was he doing? Just being Jack Kirby?
Okay. Yeah, he was being Jack Kirby. I got knocked down by somebody who was rushing through the floor. And Jack Kirby saw somebody knock a little girl down and went, "Nah, that ain't happening." And basically like cut through the crowd and made this guy apologize to me. And then drew me a picture of Spider-Man, and I've since lost the picture of Spider-Man. I can't find it.
Oh dear.
And yeah, but drew me a picture of Spider-Man, and it took me years and years later to look and realize that it was Jack Kirby that drew me that picture of Spider-Man. That, you know, because the crowd parted like the Red Sea to Moses.
Right.
You know, it was like, yeah, it was a cool experience.
I met a lot of wonderful people that I admired deeply. Ray Harryhausen, Basil Gogos.
Nice. Basil Gogos that's really cool, actually.
And they were actually sitting like in the same booth, but it was like a corner booth thing. I need to speed this up because Dan is wasting too much time.
Yeah, Magic Marmot says no timelines here, but he didn't realize that it's my show.
One of my big brags is I got to have dinner with a famous comic book writer, and everyone used to be really impressed by that.
Yeah.
Until he just got charged with sexual assault in 3 different states.
Yeah.
Was it Neil, was it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
I got to interview him during his American Gods tour.
Yeah.
When the book came out. But now I can brag. So he's no longer the most famous. Now I have to say the most famous would be Harvey Pekar.
Yeah. My heart goes out to Harvey. Yeah. Harvey, I got to meet at, I think, the same Comic-Con. I think 2003. And I was at Joe Zabel's booth, which was the Modern Tales booth. And, like, I was, like, geeking out over the fact that he worked with Harvey, and he said, "Turn around," and there was Harvey. And
wow,
it was
nice.
it was like, oh my gosh, holy crap. And I totally geeked out. And I got a picture taken with him.
Nice.
And it was probably a cool moment for Harvey to walk up and see some young, you know, person going, "Oh my gosh, I love Harvey Pekar. You used to draw for him, and that's so great." And then he's walking up, and there's like someone's talking about him. You know, that must have been pretty cool.
Nice.
I don't know, but yeah. So I didn't like get to hang out with them. And I got myself a new keyboard and a new mouse.
Nice.
I got to hang out and have drinks with a couple of the Fire Sign Theater guys.
Oh, I would be in heaven. Good Lord, I love those guys.
I don't know who those guys are.
They are as influential to me as Monty Python was, if not more so.
Where were they located?
They were in LA area in the early 70s.
Okay, that's why I don't know who they are. I'm pretty good with sketch comedy, but I was born in the 70s.
Different world altogether with those guys. All right. Nice. Give me a new panel.
Well, we had Kids in the Hall up here, so I love absurd sketch comedy. And then I remember really loving The Whitest Kids You Know. I don't know if you ever saw those guys. I think they were like a Midwest group. But yeah, the 70s, I don't have a lot of comedy from the 70s, actually. I did get a couple of episodes of the original Richard Pryor TV show where like Sandra Bernhardt and Robin Williams were guest starring.
Yep.
That was pretty cool. That was 70s.
That's cool.
There's comics from that era that I like. Like I love Robert Klein a lot, and he's 70s. And he's New York. He's not LA. LA in the 70s would be like Jay Leno, wouldn't it?
So okay, your next panel. We know that the pirates leader is going to be the Swedish Chef operated by Danny DeVito.
Okay.
I don't think I can fit in Rhea Perlman.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can just pretend she's there.
I'll clean mine up later. So where
Yeah.
do
There
you
in the back of our mind.
where do you want me to go with this?
Well, no, I guess I can put in Rhea Perlman here and then just kind of put her hands like
Well, it
that.
could be, yeah, somebody else's feet. Nobody has to know it's her yet.
Yeah.
It could be another reveal later on.
Oh, no. The Swedish Chef doesn't have feet. He's a Muppet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no Rhea Perlman. No Rhea Perlman.
So what happens after the chef is revealed to be the Swedish Chef? Okay, we're on the ship. Philo says not on my watch, but that's way back on the yacht.
Right.
We have not touched on any of our main characters.
Are they stowaways on this pirate ship? Have they tagged along? Or are we just leaving them for a new story?
I don't even think we've shown them jumping onto the pirate ship yet.
There was Philo making his big pronouncement.
So I think that's what needs to happen. Is I think that our crew, I think Armand the dog, our mushroom stowaway, and Philo need to make it onto the pirate ship.
Okay.
Do you think they should invade guns a-blazing, or do you think they should be sneaky and stealthy?
Sneaky and stealthy.
Okay.
Yeah, sneaky and stealthy. Yeah, we'll do that.
Sneaky and stealthy.
So Daniel, Magic Marmot wants you to know that he went up to Phil Proctor and said, "Oh my God, I'm a huge fan of your work, Mr. Shatner," and he nearly fell off his chair laughing. And Kay has told me that I must check out Fire Sign.
Yes. Absolutely.
And I will. Hey, at that time in Canada, we had Wayne and Schuster, okay? And if it wasn't for Wayne and Schuster's daughter, Rosie Schuster, hooking up with Lorne Michaels, there would be no Saturday Night Live.
It's true. It's true. I blew someone's mind the other day about the fact that if it weren't for Star Trek Voyager, we wouldn't have had Obama as president. Because
how does that work?
Okay, Paul Ryan was being put up as the Democratic nominee.
Really?
But Paul Ryan was married to Jerry Ryan. And
I know the story. I know the story. Yeah, go ahead, but keep telling it.
Yeah, Jerry Ryan lived in DC, but she had to commute to LA all the time to film Star Trek for being 7 of 9. Well, it ruined their marriage and they got divorced, and their divorce proceedings went public around 2008 or so, right around the time he was going to start running for president. And it's like, oh, by the way, he took her to sex clubs and all this other stuff came out during the divorce proceedings, so they put up Obama. Yeah. Yeah. So it was supposed to be Paul Ryan.
History is wacky.
Yeah. I just think that's interesting that if it weren't for Voyager.
I guess you could say the same about if it wasn't for O.J. Simpson, we wouldn't have the Kardashians.
If it weren't for the O.J. Simpson, we wouldn't have the Kardashians. That's true. Yeah, O.J. Simpson did a lot. It canceled the Disney afternoon. Disney went, oh no, it's killing our ratings. Kill the Disney afternoon. We don't need that.
A picture of Armand the dog.
Armand's an octopus and the dog's a dog. There's no model sheets.
Okay.
Yeah, the dog's just a random mutt. You don't have to worry about the dog.
Okay.
But Armand is a realistic looking octopus. Let me make that clear. He's not a weird Japanese octopus with lips.
Gotcha.
I'd be okay without the Kardashians, says Magic Marmot.
I think a lot of people would be okay with the Kardashians.
Yeah.
All the kids that I work with were going crazy over Kanye's wife, which he did not wear. And I'm like, have you not been following his entire relationship? Like before Kim, it was Amber Rose, and she barely wore anything too. And then he did a video with Kim where she was naked on a motorcycle with him. You didn't see much, but she was naked. Like, it's not like he's been secretive about this sort of desire to have his women show off everything. It was just like, wasn't it last summer they had photos of her going down on him in a boat in Italy? Like, you know, why are you so shocked about this?
They're always on boats.
I just think it's so funny, these kids. I work with 16 to 20-year-olds, so it's interesting to me what they find interesting. Like, I think I was telling you about how last week they were all gushing about how much they loved Hairspray, and I was just like, if John Waters could hear you, he would be so stoked to know that these darling, sweet little 17, 18-year-old Canadian girls next door love Hairspray.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, still, that's great, though.
Yeah, well, that's what stoked means. He'd be really excited to know that. He'd be like, that's exactly who I wrote that movie for. But the thing is he's so subversive, he would find it delicious.
Well,
I find it delicious.
It means that he's gotten through to people, you know? Means that he's broken the system if Hairspray is getting popular.
Yep.
That was the one with Divine in it, right?
Yep, that's right.
I always
tell you, one time I was watching Homicide: Life on the Street, and he showed up as a bartender.
Yeah.
Because he lives in Baltimore, and he just wanted to support the TV show. I was like, what the heck am I watching? John Waters.
Yeah, there's Pink Flamingos is probably my favorite John Waters movie.
Well, I don't know. It's hard for me to choose between like Serial Mom and Crybaby. He's got he's sublime. You know what I mean? Like he's clever and it's trash and very precise in what he does, and he makes some very valid points about society.
Yeah. Yeah, and about acceptance, finding your own home.
And the mainstream isn't always right, even though it seems that way.
They're never close to being right.
Right. Didn't he also do Pecker? I think that was one of his movies too.
Yeah, Pecker was one of his.
Yeah.
Let's see. There we go. Doing Rhea Perlman back here operating.
Oh, look at your chef. He's awesome.
Oh, yeah. Here, let me put me in the big window.
Oh, nice.
Okay. We'll have her.
Where was I?
How's your puppet doing, Amber?
I adjusted his eyes. One of my writers came up with a brilliant idea that he should propose the elimination of Mondays, because it would make your weekend take up more of your week, and it would change it to a 4-day work week.
Sure.
Yeah.
We can all get behind that. A 4-day
Yeah.
work week.
Yeah, exactly. But he doesn't replace it with anything. Just a 4-day work week, and then you got 2 days, and then you work for 4 days. You got 2 days, then you work for 4 days. It's just eliminating Mondays. There.
Well,
efficiency
I
goes
mean,
up.
they've done songs about how much they hate Mondays, so I'm not,
Yeah,
I can
exactly.
see how it would reach constituents.
Yeah, exactly.
Translator bot in the room.
I know we're still working on it, and I've talked to the guy about
I wasn't
do we
complaining. I
really-
was just saying that here.
I know. Do we really need the big long message every single time? And he's like, yeah, I like the big long message. And it's like, I can't shorten the big long message. It takes up like half my visual screen when I'm doing chat,
Does Philo have any clothes?
Sometimes.
Rarely.
He's kind of an amorphous figure.
He is what you make him.
The actor that plays Dennis Reynolds in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. He plays the main guy in Blackberry.
I don't know what Blackberry is.
It was a movie that came out last year.
Oh, about the Blackberry.
Yes.
Yeah. Which one is he? Because there's a guy who's kind of scruffy looking.
No, he's
there's the tall guy who looks really sharp.
The tall guy that looks really sharp that's bald. Yeah.
Oh, that's bald. No,
Yeah.
That's not the guy I'm thinking. There's a tall guy who's sharp who's not bald, who is one of the main three. And he was the love interest on the Mindy show. It was a really good show.
No, I used to watch the Mindy Project.
Yeah. She is a good writer. There's a lot of stuff that she's done that I quite like.
Yeah, her book, Everyone's Hanging Out Without Me, I thought was pretty heartfelt. The Mindy Project did some things in its writing that, like, I thought was like, I'm patting my own back a little bit, but that's just me. It was her show. She can do that. Like, it was okay for her character to do it, but, like, I don't know.
See, now we're in an area where I have no idea what you're talking about.
Just TV shows.
Television sitcoms. Nothing important.
Girl TV at that.
Yeah.
One thing, though, that always impressed me about the Mini Project is they got Gareth Dillahunt to be a love interest on it. And,
Yeah.
I'm a huge Deadwood fan, so it was kind of odd seeing him. But she got me into Fortune Femmeister, and I thought, and she's a really great stand-up comic. I really like her comedy, so I don't know. I liked Mindy Project a lot. I got really heavily involved in it. When living in China, me and one of my girlfriends out there, we used to get together every lunch hour and watch the new episodes. So it was a kind of a bonding experience.
Magic Marmot says, hi TWCC, appreciate the offer, but my hovercraft is full of eels. And Magic Marmot says, ew, girl TV, cooties.
How can you be in two places at once when you're not anywhere at all?
Let's see.
Anyone who's in the comment section who knows Firesign Theater will start.
That would be Kay.
now.
Kay knows. Kay knows. I wonder if Kay got any new dolls this week. I did not.
Yeah, Kay, she will go through like thrift stores and like consignment shops and stuff and find like creepy dolls.
That's her thing, yeah, creepy vintage dolls. I like to learn about them. I just like the new creepy dolls like Monster High. I'm obsessed with Monster High. But I haven't gotten any new Monster High lately. And in fact, I'm in a Monster High group on Reddit, and they were like, are you going to buy Monster High with this American band? And I was like, well, I don't need Monster High. I've got a lot.
Is that still a thing?
Yeah, well, they came out with a new generation because they're trying to get young girls into it again. So, yeah, it is still a thing.
Not having young daughters anymore. They've all grown up and had children. I do not know what is new in girl land.
It's weird. Like, I mean, there was a moment there where little girls were into pooping unicorns that pooped glitter slime. That was like about 5 years there. That was weird.
Sure, why not?
Well, you can. Magic Marmot says it sounds like a THC infused energy drink, Monster High, and I get it because Monster. But the thing is, this really cool about Monster High is the fact that, first of all, they're the daughters of classic monsters, right? So you got like a mummy girl, a Frankenstein girl. You've got like the daughter of the Blob, or Tala is the daughter of the monster under the stairs, like Oogie Boogie, right? So, yeah. But the thing that's great about it is the whole premise is that different is cool, weird and unusual is good, unique is to be respected and appreciated. And even though you look monstrous, you'll be celebrated for your unique differences. So I don't know. I like the message. And of course, the other reason I love Monster High, and I've talked about this before, is a Canadian artist named Glenn Hansen did the character designs for. He didn't come up with the ideas, but he did the character designs for it. And so when I first got into it, I was like, oh my God, these are like Glenn Hansen action figures. And I love Glenn Hansen, and this is so cool. So, and I love fashion, and they got great clothes, and I don't know. I like them.
Did you number your panel as panel 4?
He's got the right idea.
Well, I got 54.
Can you label your panel as panel 4, please?
Panel 4, and this is 5.
No. The one that you're working on is panel 4 right now.
Oh, so that was panel. What was the first one then?
The first one you were working on was panel 1.
Okay. And this is 4.
Yes. This is why I have the commandments.
I thought I was being so good. It turns out I am in fact a schmaltz.
That's okay. You can be a schmaltz. That's fine.
Panel 4.
Magic Marmot says he wants to see Kay's doll collection, and I agree. And Kay said that this week she found a busted Batman, found a face down on the ground, and she's going to turn it into Christmas decorations. And then she also says, I love antique dolls. And then when I started waxing poetic about Monster High, Kay went, this means all the monsters got laid because they have children, which I think is hilarious. Mm-hmm. And Kay says, I like the high vibe of Monster High. I don't like the vibe of Bratz. I completely agree with you, Kay. I'm not into Bratz at all. And Magic Marmot says, I'm introducing a monster into my YouTube videos. Mm-hmm. That sounds illicit, Magic Marmot.
Is that the voice in your head, Magic Marmot? Okay. So I'm going to jump to panel 5.
Okay.
What does your panel caption say, Amber? I can't read it. My eyesight is not so great.
Well, it's also covered in color, which doesn't help. It says the Buffet Space Pirates leader is revealed.
Nice. All right.
What was mine?
Yours is Philo and the crew sneak aboard the pirate ship.
Philo, I'm sorry, what?
Philo and the crew sneak aboard the pirate ship.
So, Magic Marmot wants you to know this monster's name is Kevin. I think that's awesome. And Kevin will make a physical appearance later on in his YouTube series. And Kay says she's been too busy to post old doll photos, but she will get back to that soon.
Nice.
Yeah, because she finds some really interesting little heritage pieces of ephemeral. And she does the research and she talks about it, which I think is really cool. I mean, a lot of what I collect is pretty modern. But when I was in Belgium, I got to go to a toy museum, and it was wonderful just to see all the old toys. And they had shadow puppets, they had these old paper sets from the 1700s. It was really, really interesting.
All right, and what's the next panel? I've laid that one out. I'll skip that one and clean it up later.
Okay. So I'm jumping to panel 5, which means you're going to be on panel 6.
All right, so they're sneaking onto the ship in 4. So you're doing 5, so we have to figure out what happens in 5, right?
Yes.
Okay. So they snuck onto the ship. Are they immediately discovered, or do they get to where they're supposed to be going?
I want to see Pirate Philo.
Okay, so then they get don disguises.
They don
disguises so they don't get detected. That's like 4Ds. Don disguises, don't get detected. Yeah, it's awesome. Alliteration.
Okay, they don the
disguises.
Wait, is that yours or mine?
This is mine.
Okay.
They don disguises so they don't get detected.
Okay, so that's mine. That is panel 5's caption. Panel 6 caption, so we can be drawing at the same time, is after they don disguises, then what? Swab the deck.
The dog follows the smell to their buffet, because that's what they're doing, is trying to track down their buffet, right?
Well, I mean, but they don't even know their way around the ship yet.
Well, that's why the dog is following his nose.
That's right, we are following Treasure Planet rules, aren't we?
No, I'm just saying he's following his nose. Dogs have smell, they can smell food. He goes to where the food is.
Okay, so the dog follows the smell of the buffet.
You know, having him floating along, following a whiff, and Philo trailing after him. I don't know.
Well, in 4, they're launching across the deck, so they're gonna be on the deck of the ship now. I assume.
Don Disguises is an illegal immigrant that's had a well-regarded landscaping business for the last 30 years. Yeah. You know, Annabelle goes to school with his kids. Okay, so now I got to figure out what they all look like as pirates.
Isn't it only just 3 of them, though? The mushroom, the dog, and Philo?
And Armand.
Oh, right, Armand. Sorry, Armand, I forgot. I'm sorry, Armand, I forgot you. I'm sorry, Armand. Don't be angry, Armand.
Why are you afraid of the wrath of Armand?
No, I just love octopus. Yeah, we haven't really touched on Armand that much. Maybe we have him do something, a side quest.
Let's see.
He's scrambling around under decks and he discovers something vital below deck. That the buffet space pirates have something in shackles.
I keep seeing in my brain the like the D&D thing where it's like the whole party is taking the bath together and it's like, don't split up the party.
That sounds pretty funny.
Yeah.
The Orb of MacGuffin. That sounds pretty good too.
Yeah.
A magic object would be good, because I don't think we've done a story with a magic object yet, have we?
So there's a magic buffet item on the ship?
Well, no. Magic Marmot says there should be the Orb of MacGuffin.
Oh, the Orb of MacGuffin aboard the
That
ship.
Armand, as he's slinking around and down below in the hold, finds this magic Orb of MacGuffin. I want to see Armand slinking around a hold like a spider, but really he's an octopus.
Yeah, starting tomorrow, I'm going to be teaching a drawing Disney-style cartooning class in
So it did work out.
Parker, Colorado.
Nice.
Was that the original thing that you the schooling that you were doing that you were preparing for?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good that it finally came together.
Yeah.
No thanks to Doug and Bob or whoever they were in your apprenticeship.
Yeah. Bill and Mary is what we were calling them.
Bill and Mary, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Philo should have like a nice pirate coat. Like
So who's
Captain
your
Morgan.
favorite DC superhero to draw, Dan?
DC.
Because that's what you did your cards on, right? You did those DC versus cards.
I usually got the lower echelon of people, characters I'd never even heard of. I got the Flash was the closest one I got to a name that everyone would recognize off the top of their head.
Did you get to draw Arm Fall Off Boy?
I did not draw Arm Fall Off Boy. No,
Aw.
sorry. I get like the Legion of Superheroes building. So I have to make something exciting about how do I make this building exciting as a card? And you got like some dynamic angle, it's like, a focal length of 2 looking up at this building. The tops cards were a lot more fun. I get a lot more
Like who?
Let's see, a lot of Gamora. They were a whole bunch of stuff. It depends what they were tying into at the time. So a lot of it was Guardians of the Galaxy. Then I got to do a whole bunch of the X series. What was the one that Bill Sienkiewicz did?
New Mutants.
Yeah, New Mutants. Not the X-Men proper, but the like
The kid.
yeah, Werewolf and
Mirage.
Wolf
And Rain.
right.
Wolfbane.
Who was the Sunspot?
Yeah.
I did Sunspot.
That's Bobby Costas. There was Cannonball.
I did Cannonball. Yep.
There was Mirage. And who else was there? I actually really like those stories. I was actually just talking about that series because someone had posted a picture of Brett Blevins online, and I was like, I've adored this guy's work since the 80s, and I've never seen a picture of him in my life. So it was good to see what he finally looked like.
It's interesting how that happens sometimes.
Well, they're just the old school cartoonists, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in the olden days, they used to wonder why you even wanted to talk to them. I remember when I got a chance to interview Mark Hempel, he was like, why? And I'm like, are you kidding? You're one of my favorite cartoonists ever.
I just draw stuff.
Exactly. And, when I was doing the radio show, a lot of people were like, you should do video. Like, you should get on, like, something like YouTube or whatever. And I had so many cartoonists tell me, no, we do this so that we don't get filmed. Like, I don't want to be on TV. I don't want to be anyone to see what I look like.
Right.
So I just stuck with radio.
You guys can go away.
Now you have to be seen. You have to be seen on my show at least.
No choice. I mean, I suppose you could like do like a blackout of your face where you're like on witness the really location, because really it's just about what you're drawing. Like,
Well,
nobody really needs to see your face, but it adds to the warmth of the show when there's faces.
I do have a subscription to animes, so I could have a cat here instead of me.
Nice.
You know, I considered that.
Dude, okay. Magic Marmot says he'd like to see a series with sub-heroes, the ones that don't make the cut, and are like the third and fourth tier. They sometimes mingle with the hench folk and hang out in seedy bars together. The union voted to change the name because they're a progressive organization. That is called Hitman, and it's written by Garth Ennis, and it's in the DC universe, and it makes fun of all the stupid tropes that DC does, and it's hilarious. And it's exactly that. They hang around in bars, and the group that he is part of is like second, third tier superheroes like Jean Baton du Baton and who's Six Pack, the guy who's perennially drunk. You really gotta check out Hitman. It is so good. They're like one of my favorite story arcs was when they were making fun of how DC always has like this big summer event, and then stupid shit happens all over the like Gotham universe or whatever. Because he's just a hitman and he hangs out with other hitmen. It's a really funny comic. I love Garth Ennis. I think he's really fantastic.
Yeah, I finally caught up to The Boys show. I tried to watch like Generation V or whatever it was, and the first episode was just so badly written. It just was disappointing.
Have you ever watched The Critical Drinker?
Yeah, I have. I have.
He's hit and miss. Sometimes his stuff is spot on, and sometimes he just goes on way too much.
Well, when he talks about quote unquote the message, he starts to get really preachy.
Yeah.
And then his bigotry and his misogyny starts to show. You know, and when he's talking about things like, you know, story flow and character development and why something isn't justified because it's incongruent with like the characters like motivations and stuff, like I'm totally behind him, right? But when he's going like, oh, this is just perpetuating the message, it's like, dude, shut up. You know, I don't need to hear that anymore from you.
Yeah, he goes on way too much. Sometimes he's like spot on.
Yeah.
And I'm like right behind him. And then other times it's like, okay, give it a rest, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just wanted to say that Kay said the story performers I was hanging out with got into asking us for pro headshots, so I sent them a landscape. Magic Marmot says sweet. And then Dale says, sorry I'm late. I took Sabrina to dinner. And Magic Marmot just ordered Hitman #1. Woohoo! Good job, Magic Marmot.
Well, good job, Robin, for selling Garth Ennis's book for him.
I'm really good at selling comics.
Yeah, you know.
But it's so funny. There's like, I thought I told you guys this story before, but there's like, this is not going to ruin the omnibus because it's not going to be in there. But there was during the millennium, DC did this story arc where they all went like into 10,000 years in the future or whatever, and each character had their own little issue. And so Hitman got to audition for the JLA, and Hitman's powers are he has X-ray vision, he can hear thoughts, and I thought there was something else. It's been a while since I've read it. Anyway, so he goes and auditions, and they're like, okay, so what do you do? And he goes, I kill people for money. And they're just like, next? And as he's leaving, Firestorm's like, wow, that was really fast. And he's like, okay, it's okay. I got to see Wonder Woman naked because of his X-ray vision, right?
Yeah.
It's stupid and irreverent like that, but it's like, you really start to care about the characters. John McCrae is the illustrator, and he's really, really good. I love John McCrae's work.
Nice. Yeah, we got about 7 minutes left, so this is going to be the last panel for both of us. Okay, Dan?
Okay. Well, I'll clean these up after and ship them off to you.
All
I
right.
like the doggy. The doggy is so cool looking. It's a good angle.
I gotta tighten it up, but yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I have a theory that Garth Ennis is a feminist because almost every comic of his that I've read is very forward thinking for when a man writes a woman. Like his women are very strong and not afraid of anything. And like I feel like I've talked about this before on the show, but he did a series of war comics, and one was about like the Russian female pilots during World War II. They were called like the Air Witches, I think.
Yeah.
And
the Red Witches.
that was like just fascinating. And then he did another story about a British nurse who was raped by a Japanese soldier, but the story was taking place after the war, and she had to like administer care to Japanese soldiers because the war was over and now this was the aftermath. And it was all about how she felt like murdering one of them because she was just like she couldn't reconcile like what had happened to her taking care of patients and that were of that race. And like it just he gets really deep when it comes to women's writing. I really quite like his stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so Magic Marmot says he's a Garth Ennis fan and the composition is spot on. Dale says driving reception is bad, and Dale wants to know why I'm not boycotting the show. And then Magic Marmot says I got cut off briefly, but the tariffs were delayed.
Sorry, that strikes me funny.
There's a lot of American things I can boycott, but this show is bringing people together, so why would I boycott that?
Daniel,
Yes, ma'am.
Philo and the dog and Armand need to be dressed up like pirates.
Okay, do you have you done any costumes yet?
Yes. Here,
How
I'll
was
put
it?
them up in the main. I'll put them up in the main screen.
You might want to shorten the dog's ears a bit. He looks like a rabbit.
Okay. Okay.
But other than that, it's awesome. I love Armand the pirate. You always draw the best Armand, Amber.
I try.
Okay, so he's got a hat.
There's a little mushroom with a patch. That's awesome. Magic Marmot says he needs to get a red maple leaf hoodie, and Dale says, no reception. Sorry, hope you are well.
Yeah. I need to get a red maple leaf hoodie. Yeah. Well, we have to support our Canuck friends up here, down here. Like, it's not our fault that there's an insane person running our country.
I mean, if I were you guys, I would be more terrified about what Elon Musk is doing.
That is one of the insane people running our country. Yes. Yeah, it's
too much freedom for a random person.
He went into our Social Security.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah, and he has my Social Security number. He has
and he's proven in the past that he's not trustworthy with that information.
I've had security clearances in previous lives, and I had to jump through so many hoops.
He's not allowed security clearances, and
Yeah.
he just bypassed all of that. And like, here, me and my 6 friends are gonna go in here and we're gonna download all of this information. And it's like, you weren't allowed security clearances because of your drug use. And
there's like no oversight in what he's doing in there because he's taking info, but he can also be building back doors. So if we shut him out or you shut him out, he can take more. You know what I mean? Like, it's scary as hell.
Yeah. Not to mention the fact that, like, we've already had 2 plane crashes since the FAA head of the FAA has stepped down, and we've had a cut in all of the air traffic controllers and stuff. There freezes on the federal grants and scholarships and and loans and stuff. And then, you know, gosh, what else? JFK is going to be in charge of the
RFK.
I'm sorry. RFK is going to be in charge of health. The man with the worm in his brain.
Don't get me started.
The eight part of his brain. The 8 part of his brain. Num 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 num. He's in charge of our health department.
Well, he's been involved in the health industry for a while. I'm sure he'll do fine.
Oh, you mean because he knows how to inject heroin into himself for 14 years?
Sweet.
Yeah. Intravenously. You know, and then like, you know, his sister is like, you know, he put mice and like baby birds in a blender and fed it to his hawk.
Yeah.
And it's like, that is the behavior described of a psychopath. You know? Like,
well, wasn't that woman that everybody's talking about, Gnome? Didn't she like kill her puppy?
Yeah, she shot it in a gravel pit. And then she was so worked up, she went and grabbed a goat and shot it in the same gravel pit, same day. Yeah.
Very, very scary.
Now, the American people are going to have to suffer through some hardships, but we'll build America back again. That's how you.
Okay, well, you know what? I had somebody come and talk, because I work in a grocery store, right?
Yeah.
And they were saying that they were down in Niagara Falls, and the Americans are flooding Canada to buy eggs. That you guys are paying something like $12 American for eggs. That's like almost $24 Canadian.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
it's insane.
It's like $12 for a dozen eggs. It's $1 an egg right now. And that's what the guy campaigned on, was lowering the cost of eggs.
Yeah, it's like $17 Canadian dollars for eggs.
I did not.
We pay the most $5, which is like $3.50 for you.
Did not vote for the man.
Oh, we know that.
I did not vote for him. I have a puppet that I am going to start building internet stuff around, and that's gonna be how I keep my sanity, by losing the sanity of a puppet.
Okay, not on my watch. I'm making sure I got all the stuff named right, because I do not want to anger the
Philo gods.
The Philo gods. Yes.
Philo god.
Yes. Well, it's funny because, like, okay, people watching the show don't know this, and we're 1 minute over, but that's okay. People watching the show.
We started 3 minutes late.
But I have a little commandment list. I have a list of 7 commandments for Philo.
Yes, she does.
Like,
I saw it.
And it's like, thou shalt draw fast, thou shalt label thy panels.
I have not drawn fast, so I must fall on my sword for that.
Yeah, and thou shalt number thy panels, thou shalt do thy captions second.
I'm gonna go work on these and clean these all up.
All right. So are you? Let's check where you're at with your pirate. Nice.
So
I like your Armand. He's nice. He's good.
That's the following the smell of the buffet. Very rough.
Yeah.
And then they're going to be leaping across the deck.
Nice.
I got to tighten that up. And then figure out Fat Pirate here.
Nice. He, for whatever reason, he reminds me of King Midas.
Yeah, I get that too.
Yeah. That's cool. But hey, 3 panels, believe it or not, is really good for Philo.
That's about an average, yeah.
Yeah, that's on average. So you're like, oh no, I'm going so slow. No, that's fine. You're doing great. And I appreciate you being on the show. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I'm sorry I'm like in a drawing warp and you're talking away like, oh, I should be adding to the conversation. No, I'll just
No,
stare.
we just talk so that there's no dead air.
Yeah,
So you guys can focus on your art.
yeah, and there's times when I'm like completely silent and everybody else is talking and I'm just drawing away. It happens, but let me kick off the art and yeah, we'll do that. And then let me do this. Hi. Thank you so much, Daniel Scott Gabriel Murray, my guest artist for tonight.
I'm very thankful. Thank you.
Well, thank you. A card and comic artist from the world of comics and cards, coming to us, and hopefully we'll be back sometime in the future, and we will send out that
After I clean up the slop, yeah.
that invitation. And we, even though we met through some interesting people, we're still friends.
Yeah.
And so
Yes,
thank you very much for being on the show. And then Miss Robin, my my co-host and better half, who keeps things like better, and she was sharing off her jellyfish light. Yes, and who has a new jellyfish light? Thank you very much for joining us tonight, and keeping things awesome. And you sold a Hitman omnibus tonight, so Garth Ennis, Garth Ennis owes you like $1. So yes, we will see you guys in the future, and then everybody else out there in Philo land, thank you for joining me, and I will see you next week. Have a good one. And let me do this.